Hi and welcome to the video. I'm Dave and this is Game Over, and in today's Modern Warfare 2 video we're having a look at the best settings on console to give you the biggest advantage possible over the competition. I'll take you through absolutely everything you need to know to give you the leg up over anyone else you come across when you're playing on console. Now before we jump into the settings, I want to let you guys know that I stream 5 to 6 times a week on YouTube and the very occasional one on Twitch. If you want to get involved in those live streams, I've got a link to the Discord down in the description. Click on that because you will get notified every single time. To make sure you know about the streams as well, hit the sub button, turn those notifications on, and hopefully I see you there. So let's go straight to our controller settings and look at the button layout. Now this is something that I changed a long time ago and I do in every FPS game that I play. I've decided to go with the tactical layout, which changes the B and clicking in the right stick configuration. So it means that you are sliding with the right stick and you're meleeing with B. Now the melee isn't going to happen all that often in Modern Warfare 2, so being able to slide and dolphin dive and continue to aim well is going to be a big help to you in your gameplay. Absolutely everything else stays exactly the same. So let's just go through everything here. I don't like to flip RB and RT, but that's totally up to you if you want to do that. The stick layout preset for me is default. Controller vibration I have on, but it's mostly because if I turn it off, I feel like there is something wrong with me and I don't really know what's going on, but most people would recommend that you turn it off so that it doesn't interrupt you aiming. Now, the sensitivity is something that is going to be down to you. I have mine at 6 and 6 with the ADS sensitivity multiplier at 0.8, which means it stays nice and quick when I do ADS. The standard setting for the ADS sensitivity multiplier means that you start to aim actually pretty slowly and it doesn't feel like it has a sort of linear movement from your regular aiming sensitivity. Everything under the sensitivity multiplier heading I've kept exactly as default, so you'll see all of these figures here. Vertical aim axis again is default for me. Under gameplay I have everything default apart from our interact or reload behaviors. Now this is one that you might want to change because there's a very similar one from Warzone and in Modern Warfare 2019, which was the contextual tap, and the closest version you can get to that is prioritize interact, which I don't particularly like. I like to be able to tap to reload and I'll still just hold to be able to interact with something rather than holding to reload. And it's basically the same as tap to interact as well, but it's totally up to you for that one as well. Everything else is default there, but in your advanced settings, so turning your target aim assist on, I would absolutely recommend doing it when you are using a controller. The aim assist type, I go with focusing. I feel like this is the best one, but the most important setting you need to change with your aim assist is the response curve type. It has to be linear. This gives you the most accurate way to aim and doesn't throw you off when you get near the hitbox. Everything else, as you can see, is default here. And the tactical sprint behavior is the only one I think people might want to change. From double tap, you might want to go just for single tap, but again, that is totally personal preference. I quite like the double tap because I can choose when to do it a little bit more accurately. So let's just move through the movement behaviors and you can see that I left everything on to default. So I have not changed any of those settings and it still works very well. Same for vehicle behaviors, which isn't going to be much of a problem for most people, as most people are going to be playing the 6v6 game modes anyway. Right, next up, let's have a look at our graphics, and here is how you're going to get the cleanest possible picture that you can get on your monitor or TV screen. Now, the on-demand texture streaming I have on. Allocated texture cache I have up to large without enabling a download limit. Post-processing effects, you want to turn your motion blur off, weapon motion blur off, film grain all the way down, depth of field to off, and I have the Fidelity FX CAS turned on with this strength at 80. Now you might want to play around with this as well to see how much it's going to improve your picture, but between 80 and 100 I feel is going to be the best for you. If you have the option to be able to have 120 Hz as your refresh rate, absolutely do that. And your field of view, I would recommend between 100 and 120. I've gone smack bang in the middle of those two figures with 110. Now ADS field of view I kept on as affected, so it keeps the field of view setting as close to the original as possible, and the weapon field of view is at default. The third person view, I don't play in third person, so this doesn't really count for me at all, but everything else, as you can see here, is as default yet again. Brightness, again, is whatever you want it to be. Let's look at our audio options, and the audio mix in previous CODs has made a big difference between whether you can hear footsteps or not, and especially in Warzone as well, and I found the best option for that is to just go with headphones. If you aren't using headphones, then I think you are going to want to go for home theater, because it gives you a little bit more of that bassy emergency volume, so you'll be able to hear footsteps from far away. Now, if you prefer to hear the bass a little bit more, then headphone bass boost is definitely for you, but if you have a half decent pair of headphones, the regular headphone settings should do it. Now, master volume is all the way up to 100. I turn the music completely off so it doesn't mask anything I need to hear in terms of the battle, gunshots, footsteps, etc. Dialogue volume I've turned all the way down to 36. Effects volume is at 100. Hit marker volume is at 50 again, so it doesn't distract from anywhere. And the mono settings are exactly the same. Subtitles I've left as default, and this is a personal preference of mine, but I've turned voice chat off. And everything else in this section is as default. Right, let's have a look at our interface. So again, everything is at default, all the way down to the subtitles. Apart from our color customization, I've managed to change that, and this again is personal preference, but I feel like it helps things to stand out a little bit more. I've gone with filter 1. The color filter target is world with a color intensity of 75 and the interface color intensity of 100. I feel like those last two settings are actually default. HUD color palette is default, and what I've gone for here are very bright colors that is very easy to pick out, especially in the dark areas of the map. So me on the minimap, I'm this bright sort of cyan blue, and I would go with any colors that stick out loads. So the enemy, I've gone for a bright pink instead of red. And as you can see, the party and team are those colors. If you want to know what these colors are, I will go ahead and show you. There's this one here. If you wanted to know what the custom color is, you can type in the numbers where it says hex, if that makes it a little bit easier for you. I'll show you the same on team as well. There's the custom color hex number. Feel free to pause this video at any point so you can get these numbers down. Same for party. There is enemy. And finally, no, not finally, second to last, there's neutral, and there is the contested one. Right, that is all of the color customization, which wasn't in previous CODs as far as I understand, or at least not in as much detail. So as I was saying before, everything under subtitles is exactly the same. Minimap, you absolutely should have that as square. Unfortunately, you're not able to move the alignment of any of the HUD on console, which is a little bit frustrating because I know you can do that on PC, but the best way to do it is to have square instead of the circle. Minimap rotation on, crosshairs on, hit markers visuals. If you feel like it helps you, then absolutely do it. If you don't think you need it, then don't worry about it. Damage based hit markers, of course, that's also going to help. And also, if we pop down to the interface settings, the advanced interface settings, the center dot, as it says there, will add a static dot in the middle of the screen. This helps especially if you're using weapons that require you to quickscope, or you want to aim down sight super fast and pull the trigger. It helps you basically to put the center of your aim exactly where you want it to go. If you think someone's going to pop around a doorway, it will help you, before you ADS, manage to pick out that spot really easily. Or if you're relying on hipfire, it makes it just that little bit easier. You can also change the size of the dot because the default is actually pretty small. So I have it at default, but you can go for larger and largest. And now I'm actually going to try out larger and see how that goes for me. Lastly is your account and network, and everything else is going to stay exactly as default. So those are all the settings that you need to know to be able to make the most out of Modern Warfare 2, especially in multiplayer, and I feel like a lot of those things will apply in Warzone as well. So if you found this useful at all, make sure you have hit the like button, you subscribe and turn the bell button on so you don't miss anything and miss any of the live streams that come out, and don't forget to join the Discord as well. Everything you need to know is down in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you on one of the live streams. That's game over. Peace.